Hey everybody, Rockin' Robbie here for Pop Culture Philosophers with the PCP crew. We had an awesome PCP movie night. We watched Rogue One, a Star Wars story, or as I like to call it, Star Wars 3.5 Never Forget. That's right everybody, awesome PCP movie night tonight. We watched Rogue One, a Star Wars story. These guys have watched it for like the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th time maybe. For me, it's the first time. I want to know though, what my fellow pop culture philosophers have to think about this movie. Jelani, what did you think about this movie?
I love this one. This is a darker tone for Star Wars movies. It's always optimistic. It's always this beautiful, cascade of things that happen. And they're dark tones in each part of it. But this was just epic. I don't know. It's darker than usual. It makes a better case for why you need the plans for the Death Star. I love that part. I love Darth Vader in this. I love the fact that they even take time to make Grand Moff Tarkin. So there's so many things in this movie that I love. And
So you love this movie?
I love this movie. This is like probably the 4th time I've seen it.
And rewatching it now on Blu-ray, you still love this movie. You just love it so much.
I'm a Star Wars purist. And I love it.
Yeah, speaking of Star Wars purists, John, you're a purist about everything. What do you think about this movie on the rewatch?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a ton in the theater. I think it looks incredible on Blu-ray. It sounds incredible. We kind of cheat. We have a projector here for movie nights, so that's cheating. But it does sound good. Pick it up on Blu-ray. Watch it if you haven't seen it. Watch it again if you have seen it. I think it was a great job. I think visually it's a treat. It feels like it fits in with the Star Wars. The style, everything is Star Wars. It doesn't feel so, sterile like the prequels did. It feels so, maybe because they use a lot of practical effects as well as CG effects.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the film.
All right, John really likes it. Jelani really likes it. Brooks, you've seen this movie before. What do you think about it on the rewatch?
Go against the grain with us, Brooks.
I still like it. I think probably not as much as the first time, but then the second time I remember liking it a lot more than the first time. So I guess you just kind of have to get used to how it is. Like, the first time you see it, you're expecting Star Wars, you're expecting like a fantasy story, but it's not really fantasy as much. It's more about the war aspect of it. The regular people, the people who don't have the Force or lightsabers and all that shit. And I do still like it a whole lot. But, the more you watch something, the more you start to see the flaws more, too.
Yes. What I liked about this movie was what you just said, Brooks. It's the war aspect of this. I like how it shows the scale, first of all, of Star Wars. Like, no matter what you think about the Star Wars movies, like, in Force Awakens, as awesome as I think that movie is, the Star Killer was not as impressive as the Death Star was. And in this movie, Gareth Edwards, the director, did a really good job of capturing the scale of the Death Star, of capturing the scale of the Star Destroyers. I loved that aspect of it, the military aspect. It feels,
the scenery,
at times, like we are watching, almost like you're watching World War II footage, but of a science fiction battle that happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But I like that stuff about it.
Space.
I think Patton in space. I thought the movie was really cool. Tarkin was a little off to me at times. Other times I thought it looked great. I'm torn. Should they have gotten a different actor to play Tarkin, or should they have just CG'd Peter Cushing? Like, I'm a huge Peter Cushing fan. Sometimes I don't think it works. Sometimes. What do you think?
I would have preferred they'd gotten, say, a look-alike. I could have dealt with that easier, but it didn't bother me too much either.
What about you, John? What do you think?
There's certain scenes where it stands out, where it looks, too CG. And there's other scenes that look great. So I'm happy that the family approved, just for the record, so we will know, the Cushing family, his estate, said, yeah, that's totally awesome, they want to use it in it. And I'm sure that Disney probably wrote him a nice little check.
I'm sure.
But I think it was great. He was such a big part of the Death Star in the original film, and A New Hope, that they had to have him in the film. So either they recast him or whatever. So, yeah, at times it can be jarring, other times it looks good. So I'm on the fence about that, but Peter Cushing, we all agree though. What a fantastic actor.
great.
But yeah. Tarkin is a big deal to the Star Wars mythology, at least especially when it comes to the Death Star.
Yeah.
But it's mostly because Peter Cushing was like legitimately the biggest actor that was in Star Wars at the time. So I thought it was cool that they brought him back. You know, the ghost of Peter Cushing in a way. So that's really cool. I like that. Like overall, this is the first time I've seen it, and there's a lot of hype involved with it and all that stuff, and I thought it was okay. Like, this is a story that we knew was going to happen. We kind of knew what was going to happen. There's some awesomeness in this movie. The robot played by Alan Tudyk is awesome. What's the
K2SO.
Yeah, and the blind swordsman Jedi, basically.
Yeah, sure.
By Donnie Yen, right? Yeah. Amazing characters. I love them in the movie. There's some really good spots. I'm very disappointed at how little Forrest Whitaker is in this movie because I thought he was in there
He was disappointing.
like a whole lot more. But anyway, I wouldn't say that I didn't like the movie. I would just say that I felt like it was a little thin just because, I don't know, they did a good job of capturing the scope, making it feel like a war movie at times. But other points were just like, it just felt like filler. It just felt like filler. Like we already knew how this movie was going to end.
Right.
And we just, I don't know, like there was something missing in this movie to me. Maybe if they would have made this movie instead of The Phantom Menace, it would have worked a little bit more for me. Okay. I don't think the movie was bad. I think the movie was good. It was solid. It felt like a Star Wars movie. But I also felt like at times it dared to be a little bit more than just a typical Star Wars movie, but I felt like maybe the studio held them back.
Oh, I'm positive.
Just a little bit. That's what I thought.
Well, I heard like when it came out, it was like supposedly the first time I guess the Disney suit saw it, they thought it was too dark.
Yeah.
So the version we've seen has actually been lightened up.
Even though it is kind of dark.
Yeah.
80% of the movie is basically reshot.
It's very odd for me to say the movie was too predictable when it's obviously going to be predictable. This is a heist movie about stealing the plans for the Death Star. Obviously, all, if not the majority of these characters are going to die because we've seen the sequel, A New Hope, right? And you're always on my ass, John, about how in Batman Begins they beat the fear theme over the head. Well, this movie beats the hope theme over the head like crazy. So speaking of themes, obviously holding out for something new, for a new hope, standing on your own. There's a whole lot of themes in this movie. I want to know what the pop culture philosophers have to think about it. John, hope is bashed over your head in this movie. Explain it to me. What are the themes in this movie?
Well, besides hope, I think that's a big part of it. That it's not just hope, but it's the hope of the rebels. That the rebels can do more.
The rebels.
Yeah. That they can they can band together. They're not just these little stand by and watch the Empire take over. So I do think you start seeing more you learn a lot more about the rebels and the people trying to stop the Empire, and not just the rebels, but what's the other faction that was like they were the rebels, but they're not really the rebels because they don't.
The resistance.
Yeah, the resistance. Whatever. Like they don't really get along with the rebels. They do their own thing, but they're still not caving in the Empire. So I like seeing more of that. And you said that it definitely is a war film. I mean, Gareth Edwards said he wanted to make a war film set in space in the Star Wars universe. He didn't want to make a by numbers Star Wars film.
Yeah.
He wanted to make a war film, and he wanted it to be gritty. And yeah, they definitely reshot a lot of it because it was not what Disney wanted. They wanted a more Disney film or more Star Wars film.
Yeah.
And so they definitely reshot some things. And there's some things in the original trailer that's not even in this movie, not even a Blu-ray release. Like those scenes we'll never see. They're not on the special edition. They're not going to happen. They were just gone. They were deleted. So we're not going to get those scenes, unfortunately. But I give props to Gareth Edwards he had a vision. He went out and he tried to make his vision. Maybe Disney came in and moved some things around. But I give him props for trying, because remember, he also gave us the recent Godzilla, 2014? Yeah. I enjoyed that. He also did Monsters, which I really immensely enjoyed. It was that movie that got him all these other movie deals. And I think Gareth Edwards does a fantastic job. I look forward to seeing what he does in the future.
Speaking of looking forward to seeing what he does in the future, Jelani, I'm really so stoked
to see what
you're going to be doing in the future. But what did you think about some of the themes in this movie, and just final thoughts?
I don't know. Just love I mean, the love for Jen and her father, the family, the togetherness that they had.
Okay.
I really...
Even though her daddy eats human flesh.
Yes, he does. Yes, often.
Get it?
He is, ha ha ha. But, it's that he calls her Stardust, and you just happen to know that Stardust, that's the name of the Death Star plans. And sorry, spoiler alert, hopefully you've seen this movie. By now. But it's just so many little things. And the flaw was made because of love. And that's what I saw from it. I always get that. And that flaw is perfect for this film. It's just the way it was shot. The way I put it on my top 3 deaths of someone that passes away. There's Uncle Ben. There's one other death in this movie that gets me. And then there's another death in this movie that's right under Uncle Ben dying in Spider-Man. So I really get it. And it's about love. And I think the love helps destroy the Empire.
Wow.
That's what I get.
That's actually, okay, all right. Rock on. I see exactly what you're talking about there. Brooks, speaking of the power of love, what about the themes in this movie and final thoughts?
I thought conviction was a big one. You know,
Conviction?
Like, yes, it's the soldier's dilemma is, do I work for the cause or do I work for my superiors? And, you know, in the end, they have to decide, like, is it worth doing this? And their superiors say, no, it's not. But they go ahead and they do it anyway because it's the only option they have. It's like the cause is more important than, you know, following your superior's orders. And that's kind of what the rebellion's all about.
Right.
Wow. There you go. From Brooks the Magnificent himself. The theme of the movie is hope. Again, it's bashed over your themes. The hope, it's everything you guys said, like love, resistance, like, I don't know. I don't know. I want to watch this movie again, but I will say this: Darth Vader's scene at the end of the movie was completely badass and one of the best scenes in a Star Wars movie yet.
Ever.
But we had to wait a very long time to get there. I feel like this movie's a little long. I feel like it's a movie that like is fan service and not in a bad way. Does that mean not in a bad way, but like it's fan service. It's fan service. I'm sorry. It's fan service. That's what I think about it. That's what these guys love it. I think it's okay.
I'm a fan and I was serviced.
You could tell though that the people that were behind it were fans of Star Wars.
Yeah.
That they were, you know, Gareth Edwards and the crew behind it. Some of the details you could tell that these people loved Star Wars. So I'm happy that those people got to be involved in the aspect of the film because they gave us a visually at least stunning.
It is definitely the best looking Star Wars film out there. It gives you that sense of scope. It really like puts things in the correct perspective. I really liked it for that reason. I just felt like some of the characters were flat and just kind of like thrown together. But I do feel like a Star Wars fan is going to love this movie. Absolutely. There's a link down below to pick it up on Blu-ray if you haven't already. But we already know that you have. Anyway, we are the Pop Culture Philosophers. Robbie, Brooks, Jelani, John. We rock out every single week. We do weekly comic book reviews, movie reviews, podcasts, blogs, top 5 lists. All that and more can be found at popculturephilosophers.com. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Let us know down below, what did you think of Star Wars Rogue One, a Rogue One Star Wars story? What? Anyway, let us know what you think of the movie down below. We are eager to know what you think about it, and we will talk to you about what we think about it. We'll talk to you down below. It's super, super awesome. So please do thumbs up the video, like it, share it, subscribe. We do this stuff all the time. I'm Rockin' Robbie Billups. Like I said, this is
Jelani.
This is
John Hamilton.
And this is
Brooks.
We are the Pop Culture Philosophers. Thanks for joining the Army. Dig. I said dig.
You did the Army and the dig thing.
Yeah.
Every time you do the dig.
Yeah.